If you're involved in the Webtoon community, you will know that there is a writer-illustrator duo who has already been immortalized in the hallowed halls of this young medium, and that is currently Kim and Hwang Yong-chang. Specializing in thrillers, they've already written two critically acclaimed series: Bastard, the story of a young boy forced to be an accomplice to his serial killer dad, typical family entertainment, and Sweet Home, the story of the residents of an apartment complex trying to survive in a world where people are turning into monsters based on their innermost desires. Basically Friends. I love both webtoons, but my favorite is definitely Sweet Home. I couldn't stop reading and must have binged all 140 chapters in like 3 days. So when the news came out that Netflix was adapting Sweet Home to a live-action drama, I was excited, but also nervous. I was hearing things like biggest budget for a Korean drama, engaging Hollywood VFX artist, which is great. The art and monsters were a critical part of what made the Sweet Home webtoon so unnerving and impactful. But it was the characters and tightly written plot that made Sweet Home a classic for webtoon fans, and that's where I got concerned. So when the series finally came out, I watched it, and I must say, spoiler alert, the webtoon is better. Woo! Did you get it right? Not like it was the title of the video that you read and decided, hey, this is interesting, so I should click on it and maybe watch the video. The series wasn't bad. If I hadn't read the webtoon before, I might have enjoyed it more. But in contrast to the webtoon, the live action just fell short. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me explain why I think the webtoon is better than the live action drama. Also, spoiler alert for everything. First things first, the most obvious thing, I feel that the monsters in the webtoon were scarier. There's just something about Yong-chang's art that highlights the unnerving nature of the characters as their humanity slips away. Take the example of the blind monster. The blind monster was honestly done pretty well in the live action. It looked real, it was scary, I was scared, but I feel that it lacks the surreal, otherworldly nature conveyed in the webtoon. Whenever the blind monster appears in the webtoon, I felt like I was in the room with the other characters, and that I couldn't make a sound. This holds true for the other monsters as well. In the webtoon, the protein monster is terrifying, a perverted force of nature that cannot be stopped. But in a live action, let's just say I screamed more while playing Luigi's Mansion. But let's leave the unpacking of CGI to the experts. Let's explore the setting. Sweet Home is a webtoon with very high stakes from very small situations. And it's mostly because of the setting. Trapped in an apartment complex, the residents are secluded from the outside world. They are safe from the monsters outside, but they are trapped with the monsters inside, forcing you to feel this endless tension. Simple goals like moving down 2 floors suddenly become life or death situations. And because all the characters are normal people, they are doing all they can just to survive. In the live action, however, they introduce this really badass firewoman who is ripped as heck, turns out to be special forces, and is also a TikTok star. When the night has come. So anyway, like in the webtoon, the residents have barricaded the gate to protect themselves from the many, many monsters that will destroy you the moment you step outside. Unless you are a TikTok star, of course. Because then the monsters are like, oh no, sorry, I didn't know you were famous. Please ride your bike for miles across the open countryside where you can be attacked at any turn to the hospital to investigate the death of your husband. We won't touch you, I promise. I don't know what accent was that. And as much as I love the badass firewoman, I mean, how could you not? Her being there kind of takes away from the hopelessness felt by the residents. Why bother building an armored car to escape if you can just bike away, right? Characters. Sweet Home thrives on its characters. By focusing on the few key residents, Kanbi was able to flesh out almost all the characters with backstories and motivations before forcing them to work together to survive. The story didn't have to rush. He had time to let his characters develop naturally, and we slowly found out more about the characters as the show moved along. The drama didn't have this luxury. With limited time, more characters and more plot lines, the drama didn't have time to let its characters develop. Hyun was the most hit by this. In the webtoon, Hyun constantly struggled with his suicidal tendencies, and it was through the development of his relationship with Jisoo and Hyuk that Hyun was able to break out of his shell. In the drama, Hyun spent most of his time quarantined, and we all know quarantine is the best time to build relationships, right? That's why 2020 was the best, right? Right? The only exception was Jesus Man, who actually got more character development in the drama than the series. Not gonna lie, I cried when he died. You are a hero, oh brave one. Finally, I touched on this earlier, but the series added on a lot of extra content. And you know this is a problem cause the worst part of the series is the extra content. We already covered TikTok Special Forces Firewoman, who I love, but just seems like she belongs in another show. There is also the weird military experiment plotline that was added into the series to give her something else to do. Why? And like, how is there a whole surviving military organization just doing whatever they want and being organized and stuff, while monsters are literally sprouting out of everyone? There's also the weird tunnel that the old man just knows about for some reason. If you want to add stuff, at least add it properly. Basically, the new stuff just doesn't really make sense. At the end of the day, the drama was okay. But everything that was good about the drama was taken from the webtoon, who did it better. And everything bad about the drama was not from the webtoon. So, by doing the math here, the webtoon is better. Woo! Okay, that's the end of the video. I don't really know how to end. But this shouldn't really matter, right? How many people watch to the end of a YouTube video? If you're still here, why? I'm just some snob ranting about why I like the book better than the adaptation. Well, thanks anyway. Bye.